Good morning, guys. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing awesome today. It's a little rainy out here in Ontario today. Hopefully, it won't be too windy. They're expecting some wind today. So, today we're talking about how to know if you have an internet addiction and what to do about it. So, let's find out what this is all about. This is by Elizabeth Hurtley. She has some medical degrees. All right. So, internet is a behavioral addiction. We've talked about this on Monday as well. So, we'll just carry on with this today, in which a person becomes dependent on use of the internet or other online devices as a manipulative way of coping with life stresses. Internet 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 addiction is becoming widely recognized and acknowledged, particularly in countries where it is affecting large numbers of people, such as South Korea, where it has been declared a national health problem. Much of the current research on the subject on internet addiction has been carried out in Asia. It's also a growing concern in developed nations in North America and Europe. So, what are the 5 things you need to know about internet addiction? First, internet addiction is not yet officially recognized mental disorder. Research has formulated diagnostic criteria for internet addiction, but it is not included in the Diagnostic Statistic Manual of Mental Disorders. There's a link there if you guys want to go check out the email of this. It's in your inbox around 7 a.m. And if you're not part of the list, you can join at either curtishelps.com or thepositivelifebook.com. Alright, guys? However, internet gaming disorder is included as a condition for further study, and internet addiction is developing as a specialized area. 2. At least 3 types of internet addiction have been identified: video game addiction, cyber sex or online sex addiction, and online gambling addiction, which is also regular life, I guess, as well. What happens to people? Number 3, increasing addiction and to mobile devices such as cell phones and smartphones, and addiction to social network devices such as Facebook are being investigated. There are overlaps between each of these subtypes. For example, online gambling involves online games, and online games may have elements of pornography. Right. Sexting. Number 4, or sending sexual explicit texts has landed many people into trouble. Some have been teens who have found themselves in hot water with child pornography charges, wow, if they are underage. Interesting. Number 5, treatment of internet addiction is available, but only a few specialized internet addiction services exist. However, a psychologist with knowledge of addiction treatment will probably be able to help. So if you know you got it, go see a psychologist and maybe they can help you out. Some symptoms you might need to look for: as an internet addiction is not formally recognized as an addictive disorder, it may be difficult to get a diagnostics. However, several leading experts in the field of behavioral addiction have contributed to the current knowledge of symptoms of internet addiction. All types of internet addiction contain the following 4 components. Okay, here we are. Excessive use of the internet. Despite the agreement that excessive internet use is key symptoms, no one seems to be able to define exactly how much computer time counts as excessive. While guidelines suggest no more than 2 hours of screen time per day for youths under 18, there are no official recommendations for adults. Furthermore, 2 hours can be unrealistic for people who use computers at work all day. Some authors add that the habit of non-essential use, but for someone with an internet addiction, all computer use can feel essential. Interesting. Here are some questions from the Internet Addiction Assessment Instruments that will help you evaluate how much is too much. So here are a couple questions. How often do you stay online longer than you intend? So you're like 1 hour, you're like 2, 4, 8. Hear other people in your life complain how much time you spend online. Yeah, that's definitely a good indicator. Say or think just a few more minutes when online. Try and fail to cut down on how much time you spend online. Hide how long you've been online. Interesting. They're all similar things that you would normally see in an addiction. If any of these situations are coming up on a daily basis, you may be addicted to the internet. Interesting. Withdrawal. Although originally understood to be the basis of physical dependence on alcohol or drugs, withdrawal symptoms are now being recognized in behavioral addictions, including internet addiction. Common internet withdrawal symptoms include anger, tension, and depression when internet access is not available. These symptoms may be perceived as boredom, joylessness, moodiness, nervousness, or irritability when you can't go on the computer. Tolerance is another hallmark of alcohol and drug addiction, and seems to be applicable to internet addiction as well. This can be understood as wanting and, from the user's point of view, needing more and more computer-related stimulation. You may want ever increasing amounts of time on the computer, so it gradually takes over everything you do. The quest for more is likely the predominant theme in your thought process and planning. Interesting. Carrying on here, negative repercussions. If the internet addiction causes no harm, there would be no problem. But when excessive computer use becomes addictive, something starts to suffer. One negative effect on internet addiction is that you may not have any offline personal relationships, or ones you do have may be neglected and suffer arguments over your internet use. Okay, let's skip a few here. Also, kids can also get this too. Internet addiction is particularly concerning for kids and teens. Children lack the knowledge and awareness to properly manage their own computer use and have no idea about the potential harms that the internet can open them up to. The majority of kids have access to a computer, and it has become commonplace for kids and teens to carry cell phones. Well, this may be reassuring parents that they have a two-way contact with a child in an emergency. There are very real risks to this constant access to the internet can expose them to. Children have become increasingly accustomed to lengthy periods of time connected to the internet, disconnecting from the surrounding world. Children who own a computer have privileged online access, have an increased risk of involvement in cyberbullying, both as victims and as perpetrators. Children who engage in problematic internet use are more likely to use their cell phone for cybersex, particularly sexting or accessing apps, which could potentially increase the risk of sex addiction and online sexual harms, such as Tinder. In addition, kids who play games online often fear peer pressure to play for extended periods of time in order to support the group they're playing with, or to keep their skills sharp. This lack of boundary can make kids vulnerable to developing video game addiction. This can also be destructive to the development of healthy social relationships and can lead to isolation and victimization. Children and teens are advised to have no more than 2 hours of screen times per day. Cool. And then if you guys, there's also a helpline here, but I think it's just for the States. But anyway, there is help out there if you do find that some of these things are a problem. But definitely, if you have kids, watch how much they use a computer and keep an eye on what they're doing. And I think the 2-hour limit is pretty good. But that is the end of the article, guys, for today. Thank you for being here, and I hope let me know in the comments if you guys know, or maybe you have one yourself, internet addiction. And hopefully these tips helped you with knowing what to do about it. All right, guys, thanks for being here. We'll see you on Friday. Have a great one. Enjoy your Wednesday. Happy hump day.